Always number one. So when life's throwing you a number two, just remember, Dunks Tires and Wheels, because we'll be here for you. We sell used custom wheels and tires and do plug and patch repair. We have all tread styles and sizes in stock. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, and on call for emergencies. Call 270-963-6391. Dunks Used Tires and Wheels, where the customer is always number one.
Herb Hayes Furniture, always the best.
Herb Hayes Furniture and Mattress is the hometown store with big town appeal and style. Mandy and Elizabeth go to the furniture market and hand select Herb Hayes inventory with you in mind. You'll see the difference when you walk through their doors. It's a short drive to Herb Hayes Furniture and Mattress, where you always get the best selection, the best furniture, at the best price on the Boulevard in Hopkinsville.
Herb Hayes Furniture, always the best.
Are you struggling to afford health care or medications? Let Health First help you. Whether you are insured, uninsured, or underinsured, you will still be cared for at Health First Community Health Center. We offer financial and prescription assistance to all those that qualify, which is based on income and household size. Contact our office at 1-877-667-7017 for more information, or visit our website, healthfirstchc.net. Same-day appointments and walk-ins are welcome. At Health First, your health is our first concern.
It's all at your fingertips now at WPKYonline.com. Local video, local news, local sports, local weather information, and of course, contests. Plus, you can listen to us on your smart device. Just click the Listen Now button. We've made it easier to find your favorite information. WPKYonline.com.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. Good Thursday morning. This is Todd Griffin, and a lot of sports information to go over this morning. First of all, basketball season has been pushed back. All the winter sports are now pushed back until January 4th before they can start. That includes wrestling as well. And we've got coming up on the show this morning, Caldwell County's basketball coaches, Daniel Kukahiko and Chuck Mitchell. We'll be talking about what they are doing in preparation for what is now a new start date for those guys. Again, basketball season pushed back. Even practices are pushed back now until the middle of December, but the season is postponed until January 4th for basketball and wrestling and all of the winter sports. Now, football season is still going to continue. The playoffs begin Friday night. The Tigers will go down to Murray. Ty Holland Stadium is where that game will be played. 7 o'clock is kickoff time on Friday, and you can listen to that game right here on WPKY as the Tigers get a rematch down at Murray. Murray came up here and won 41-34 in overtime during the middle of October. Very close game, and another close game expected in the rematch. So stay tuned here. We'll continue on the Sideline Report after this on WPKY.
NC Unique Boutique in the Princeton Plaza offers boutique fashions, footwear, and accessories, sizes small to 3X. New fall fashions are arriving weekly, and there's a sale on summer items. Check out the personalized items. They can customize it just for you. Shop in person Monday through Friday 10 to 6, Saturday 9:30 to 3, or shop 24/7 at shopbcboutique.com with free store pickup, local shipping rates, or curbside pickup. BNC Unique Boutique in the Princeton Plaza. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram for updates and photos of new merchandise.
Deer season's right around the corner, so if you happen to bag that big buck with your vehicle, let Trice Hughes' Collision Center go to work for you. Call or stop by for a free estimate.
Great people make up our home team at Trice Hughes. Trice Hughes is here for you and any questions you may have about your vehicle. Buy your next vehicle from the home team. Find them on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or at tricehughes.com.
Princeton Family Care has been located in Princeton since 2008 and owned and operated by Mary James, nurse practitioner. Mrs. James has been doing family practice for 25 years at the clinic. They strive to be a place where people feel at home. They're a small clinic with a huge heart to help others. If you need care but don't have insurance, if you're worried about payment or have other concerns, just give them a call at Princeton Family Care on South Jefferson Street in Princeton.
If you really enjoy the stories you hear on Traveling the Bluegrass, we'd like to invite you to listen to the whole visit uncut. Just type youragedge.com into your browser. You'll find Traveling the Bluegrass uncut stories in long form, so you don't miss a thing. You'll also find lots of ag news and farm pictures from across the Commonwealth. You can also find all the Kentucky communities that Traveling the Bluegrass can be found. Remember to visit youragedge.com.
It's all at your fingertips now at WPKYonline.com. Local video, local news, local sports, local weather information, and of course, contests. Plus, you can listen to us on your smart device. Just click the Listen Now button. We've made it easier to find your favorite information. WPKYonline.com.
BNC Unique Boutique in the Princeton Plaza offers boutique fashions, footwear, and accessories, sizes small to 3X. New fall fashions are arriving weekly, and there's a sale on summer items. Check out the personalized items. They can customize it just for you. Shop in person Monday through Friday 10 to 6, Saturday 9:30 to 3, or shop 24/7 at shopbcboutique.com with free store pickup, local shipping rates, or curbside pickup. BNC Unique Boutique in the Princeton Plaza. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram for updates and photos of new merchandise.
We are back on the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Again, good Thursday morning, and thanks for tuning in today here on the show. As I mentioned, Caldwell County basketball coaches Daniel Kukahiko and Chuck Mitchell joining us this morning, and we've got those guys on the phone line. First of all, gentlemen, good morning, and Chuck, thanks to you and Daniel for being on the show.
Oh, good morning. Sorry. There we go. Now, good morning.
Yeah, there we go. I knew you guys were there someplace. Chuck, first of all, talk a little bit about getting the news that the season is going to be pushed back this year.
Well, breaking the news to the girls yesterday, I could see it in their face what they were experiencing. I just had to reassure them we're starting January 4th. We'll get a full season in, and we're going to play district tournament, regional. Everything's going to be the same, just starting later. And we had a really good practice, and I wanted them to focus on what we can control, and that's us in practice.
Daniel, do you guys in the same boat? But if there is a silver lining for the boys' team, you'll at least have your football players by the time you can tip off the season.
Absolutely. Chuck and I were just talking about this, and we didn't have a game the first week of the season anyway. So when you're trying to reschedule games, that's 1 week that we don't have to worry about rescheduling. And you, like Chuck said, you just try to be positive. You try to be positive, and we're getting a little bit of taste right now of what the fall sports had to deal with rescheduling and adjusting and practicing, and things are going to start on one date. But just trying to stay positive and give our guys the outlook that January 4th we're going to hit the ground running, and then have a season from there.
Yeah, and Daniel, this wasn't completely unexpected. The season getting pushed back a little bit.
No. I think every coach knew all along that this was a definite possibility, and now it's a reality. We're just trying to. They're going to finalize some details on what exactly it's going to look like up until January the 4th. But right now, I know there's a lot of coaches in the state that are scrambling around trying to get those dates locked in with other coaches, and work out to get some games and as many games as possible scheduled, so that our Tigers and Lady Tigers can have as best season as possible.
Well, didn't you guys have to readjust the schedule this year anyway a little bit, because the season was actually scheduled to start a week earlier than normal? So now everything is getting pushed back more to, I guess the postseason's almost back to where it usually is anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it started out. Normally you play the first Monday after Thanksgiving, and this year was the Monday before Thanksgiving, which did, you throw another holiday in there when players and coaches want to spend time with their families. It just, adds another wrinkle to it. And you don't want to take that family time away. But now that everything's pushed back, I guess that it's one benefit that, something that, high school coaches and players don't normally get, is they get to, a little bit of time around both holidays of Thanksgiving and Christmas to kind of spend a little time with family.
Yeah, Chuck, do you have to kind of start over on the schedule, or can you just move some of the games that were postponed or canceled toward the end of the season?
Yeah, we're actually talking about scheduling up here a few minutes ago, and we're just filling in, really, we've contacted schools, and they're contacting us about filling in our January and February schedule, and we're going to go from there. It's kind of different, for the kids starting that late, like Coach said. Being able to spend time with your family is going to be huge. They don't have to worry about canceling trips. So there's a plus on that side. And just reassuring the girls and the guys that want to play is a big thing. So the scheduling part, I think we're going to be fine. I'm not sure how many games we're going to get to play, but we're probably not going to be able to make up all those days in December. I had several. But we're talking to people, and like Coach said, all the schools are scrambling right now trying to get a schedule together.
Well, Chuck, how many games would you prefer to play? Are you one of those guys that wants to play as many as you can, or will a shortened season maybe be a little beneficial to the team?
Well, last year probably been beneficial with all the injuries we had, but I've got 6 seniors and they want to play. This is their last year. I'm gonna get us as many games as we can and try to get us as much experience. We still don't know. There could be games canceled on and off, so I'm going to get the schedule as full as I can, and then we'll go from there.
Chuck, how do you kind of plan practices now, and where were you guys kind of at in practice, and how big a deal is it going to be to take a few weeks off?
Yeah, we've been going for 2 months now and going hard. We were preparing to play Monday, and kind of knew that was not going to happen. But, we play the 30th, and that's not going to happen. So there's 2 games right there the girls were really preparing for. And we're just going to, keep in touch, make sure everybody's doing something, make sure we know what's going on with the KHSA and the state, and get back in the gym as soon as we can.
And, Daniel, you guys were kind of struggling a little bit with numbers in practice right now until you get some of those football guys out.
Yeah, we had a limited roster in there, but we had a lot of guys that it was good for to have a small number. When you have a small number, you can put in a lot of things and not have as many guys to run the reps through. So your learning curve should be a little bit better. And our guys really bought into everything we tried to put in. We put in a lot of stuff. We challenged them, and so hopefully we can this time off we still do some things meeting together online and that kind of stuff to make sure that we're still, we're still moving forward. We don't want this to be a time, we talked about it yesterday, where even though it is or is not a shutdown, however you want to define it, that we're not just taking 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off and doing absolutely nothing basketball-wise and restarting over again. And like Coach Mitchell said, we've been fortunate to be in the gym for several practices before this. So, we just don't want that momentum to be completely shut off over the next 3 weeks. So we're going to find ways to maybe not be in person together, but online through different platforms and watching some film and just trying to get better.
Well, and one thing that I guess we have an advantage here, you guys have a couple of different gyms you can use to actually get in practices.
We do. We have 2 facilities. They just got Butler taken care of, opened it back up, and so that's definitely an advantage for us. And having the availability for our Lady Tigers and Tigers to get in and get some work done.
Looking ahead to the schedule, one of the big things on the schedule each year had become the West Kentucky Hoops Classic, and we're not going to have the boys part of that this year, but Chuck, is that something that you can reschedule on the girls' side and maybe get those games in this year?
Well, I doubt it. We're working on some stuff, but everybody's trying to restructure their schedule, so that's probably not going to be a possibility. We're playing all the teams that were in the West Kentucky Hoops, Mayfield, Madisonville, and Lyon County. We're playing them during January and February. So they're scrambling right now trying to reschedule and restructure their games. So everybody's scrambling. So I don't think that's going to happen this year.
Daniel, as far as the boys portion of that goes, is that something that just is going to kind of take a year off and then we'll be able to continue that again next year?
We're hoping so. Both the boys and girls side, we built a lot of momentum with this event. It turned into, it started out, several years ago when we started this, just trying to get, bring a little more excitement over the holiday season and get some home games. And then it turned into really just a great event. And you got to give a shout out to the Torrey Hammett there and just and talking to these teams and it turned into an event that it was exciting. It was exciting for our players to play in, but also exciting because you're getting you're getting something you don't normally get. You're getting to see teams that you've never seen play before. You're getting to see guys that are just phenomenal athletes coming from different states, coming from really, different parts of the country to play. And it's something that you don't always get to see when you're a high school basketball player. And you got, one guy last year who put up, I think it was 50 or whatever, and he's going to be, I think he's the number 1 or number 2 defensive back in the country. And, those are things that you remember. So hopefully we can take this. And, the good thing about it is, we have a couple seniors on our team this year that won't be able to participate in it again. But the young group that we have, it'll be good for them as well to bring in, high-quality opponents that they can play against.
Yeah, how often in Princeton are you going to get a number 1 team from Oklahoma and a number 1 team from Mississippi playing each other?
Absolutely, you don't find that very often, and so but it's exciting. It's exciting for the players to see, hey, we can compete with these guys and you see what the best of other states have to offer. So, and it also builds, connections from the coaching standpoint. There's several coaches that we've had that have came in here over the past 5-6 years, and you build a relationship with them, coaches that you wouldn't otherwise meet, and you can bounce ideas off of them. You can, follow them on social media and just see what they're doing and why their program has the success that it does, and try to implement some of those things and tweak them to fit your program.
Well, and one of the best things is you guys had built that up to the point that schools were actually contacting you wanting to play in it.
Absolutely. We had, and like I said, Tori does a great job with that. We had several schools that really wanted to come, and I think we were starting to, a lot of times with those big tournaments, you got to get a couple of teams on the hook, a couple of big dogs on the hook, and then a lot of teams want to start to come. And especially the last couple of years, we've had some teams that have reached out. We've had to say, we're full this year, but we'll lock you in for next year. And I think that we've already got some interest for next year. Hopefully we can lock those in. Hopefully by next year all this will be behind us. We can have it on a normal schedule, and so we're looking forward to that.
I know it's always 2 full days of basketball out at the Cab, and Chuck, I know you try to take in as many of those games as you can as well.
Yeah, those last year was incredible. It's a lot of work for everybody, and Tori does such a great job getting the teams here and managing all of that. But I promise you, it was one of the best basketball tournaments I've seen in my 25 years of coaching basketball. So many talented players. They play different ways. Superstars in here in our gym. It was just it was a great tournament. I didn't want to leave every night. They were so good.
Well, Daniel, what kind of feedback do you get from the other teams coming in for that? And I'm assuming it's mostly positive because a lot of those teams want to come back.
It is. We get a lot of feedback. Each year we've done things that tried to, I guess, raise the bar a little bit. We started off and then we added, the MVPs for each game and got the community more involved. And the community has been a great supporter of this event. And then we added, a couple of years ago, we added the breakfast, and we held that at the CLC at First Baptist. And we've had some good speakers. Last time we did it was Cameron Mills sharing his story and just, what all he had been through. And, of course, national champion and that kind of stuff. And it was just, the coaches, they're very appreciative. They want to be, when coaches come, and I guess we're all the same way, when you go to an event, you want to feel like that you're welcome there. You want to feel like that you are, that you're shown, you're treated right. And that's what our goal is. When the coaches come in, we want to make sure that they feel like that we're good hosts for them and their players, that we're taking care of them. Because, they're coming to a community that most of them have never been for, and frankly may never come back to again. But you want to be good hosts, and I think that's what we've gotten for the most part from the feedback from the coaches and players.
Well, for some of those teams, coming to Princeton might be a bit of a culture shock.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. They say, this is where's all the, where's everything at? Like, well, you're looking at it. This is Princeton, Kentucky. So, but like I said, our community has done. They do awesome stuff to kind of help us host these teams. One Poly Eyes every year donates or helps us, feed the guys, and I think it's a good thing for our community.
Well, and one thing you kind of touched on there, that breakfast, that's a really unique aspect of that, having all those teams come together for breakfast one day.
It is, and to have that and have that motivational speaker that is talking about, life choices and sharing their story of hardship, their story of overcoming adversity, their story of success, and to have a big name, which I think most people in Kentucky know who Cameron Mills is. The one outside, most of them may need a little explanation because not everybody. I guess in Kentucky we like to think everybody's a UK fan, but I guess everybody's not outside the borders. But it's a time that you can kind of put basketball aside, and you kind of come together and you realize that there's things bigger than basketball, and you get to experience those with teams that get in. You're sitting at tables right beside guys. You're fellowshipping with your team, but you're also fellowshipping with other groups as well.
Well, let's hope we can eventually get this COVID thing behind us and move on, and that next year we can have another full list of games over 2 days out at the Cab.
I agree. 100% agree.
Talking this morning with Caldwell County basketball coaches Daniel Kukahiko and Chuck Mitchell. I'm going to ask those guys to hang on for just a minute as we get to a commercial break here, but we'll be back with more on the Sideline Report after this on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Black Patch Grill.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. Sunshine expected through the day today, reaching a high of 67 degrees. Down to 44. Sunshine through the day tomorrow, back up to around 67. Partly sunny and 68 on Saturday. May see a few rain showers on Sunday up to 67. And mostly sunny and 53 the high on Monday. Sunny skies through the day today, reaching a high of 67.
Winter's creeping our way. It's time to button up your car, truck, and SUV with a pre-winter inspection from Trice Hughes' service department. They'll do a multi-point inspection of your vehicle, including checking your antifreeze, wiper blades, battery, and more. Time to get ready for Old Man Winter with Trice Hughes.
Trice Hughes is here for you and any questions you may have about your vehicle. Buy your next vehicle from the home team. Find them on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or at tricehughes.com.
As a way to say thanks for visiting our store, we'd like to offer you an additional 10% off your total purchase today when you use the promo code NEW at checkout. Gobble your way to the front of the line for holiday shopping by nabbing these great deals. Stock up for gift giving or goodies for yourself and save up to 70% today. Just use the code NEW at checkout.
Click on Loyal Listener Big Deals at WPKYonline.com.
We are back on the Sideline Report here on 1580 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us this morning. On the phone line with us, we have Caldwell County basketball coaches Daniel Kukahiko and Chuck Mitchell. And the big news, basketball season in the state of Kentucky for high school teams. The start date has been pushed back to January 4th, so need to note that if you've got a schedule, that's going to change. So just be on the lookout for the new schedules coming out at some point because, again, high school basketball pushed back. And Chuck, as we mentioned earlier, this wasn't totally unexpected, but at the same time, everybody was kind of in a state of flux there for a little while trying to figure out, how to proceed.
Yeah, basically, we wanted a start date and an end date so we could go to work. Let the kids know, and get our scheduling done. That was the big thing out of the meeting yesterday at KHSAA, is give us a start date and give us the end date so we can move on. That's all we want, and we want to stick to that. Then our governor had his press conference and talked about shutting some things down, so we got to incorporate that into what we're going to do with our practice scheduling and then our game scheduling starting January 4th.
What is the plan right now as far as going ahead? That is the December 14th date, the next day you guys can practice?
Well, that's we talked with Ms. Farmer, the AD, this morning, and she's going to get some clarification on that. That's the way we all understand it. There's a second region, I think, AD policy board and meeting today this morning, and they're going to kind of digest everything that happened yesterday and kind of get give us some coaches some more clarification. But that's the way it's looking right now, that we're going to be, I guess, out of the gym for several days. But I guess we'll wait to hear what the word is from our AD.
Well, and there was a lot of discussion on what to do with basketball season. At one point, I even heard that the Sweet 16 might get pushed back into May.
The meeting yesterday lasted probably 5-6 hours, the work session and board meeting combined, and if not longer. And watching that, those guys have a very tough job. There were there were options on the table, that KHSA staff had done some pre-work, and then the board obviously had done pre-work, and they're all listening because they all come from different parts of the state, and that's a big difference. And hearing some of their suggestions, one of the options was to move it back into May and kind of do a May Madness deal. But then you run into the spring season and having to push that back. And I think, and I kind of understand a little bit. I don't like the fact that basketball, I feel like always. Are you still there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay. I don't like the fact that the basketball kind of always seems to get kind of sandwiched on both ends, but that's the nature of the beast. One of the things that they talked about is moving the spring, back a little bit, but I understand why they were hesitant to do that. Last year, spring athletes didn't get to have a season. Everybody else did. So they're trying to protect that, and I get that. I want that for our spring guys too. Baseball, softball, track, tennis. We were fortunate to play last year; they were not. So 2 years in a row of not having that is a big deal. So I guess it is what it is. So we're going to make the best of it.
Well, and sometimes we all don't always agree with everything the Kentucky High School Athletic Association does, and we all have disagreements on how high school sports should look, I guess. But it really feels like the KHSAA went to bat for all the athletes in high schools across Kentucky. Fall sports just about completed with that. The only thing still playing is football, and at one point, we didn't know if we'd even have any fall sports, and it seems like the feeling here was that they would rather push back the start of basketball season and get to have an end of basketball season than to start basketball season and things get worse, and then we go a second year without a Sweet 16.
Well, I think the big thing with that was protecting the spring sports a little bit. They didn't get to play last year. At the same time, they need to have the Sweet 16. That's a lot of revenue that was lost last year, and that's something I think we really wanted to keep in mind. How can we get as many people into Rupp or wherever they have the state tournament at in the seats and try to get the money, make up the money they lost last year if they can. I think that was on their minds a lot. The revenue they lost, because that pays for a lot of things, and at the same time keeping the baseball and the softball on time for their seasons.
Well, and even the football season, I think one of the big reasons, we're trying to push forward with the football playoffs is so that we can get to the championship games in Lexington, and, that the KHSAA can maybe make a little money there. Yes, it's unfortunate that the COVID situation is the way it is as far as sports is concerned. And, there's some teams that have had to bow out of the playoffs because of different reasons. But I think they're trying to get, one way or another, 2 teams to Lexington to play in those championship games in each class. But because they need those championship games, and they, let's face it, everybody needs the revenue to keep moving forward.
I agree. Coach Mitchell and I have talked to our players and coaches so many times this is the year of flexibility. You never know what's going to happen even tomorrow. 2 days ago, I was planning on playing November 30th or the possibility of it. And, now it's obviously not an option. But we just have to be flexible the whole time. And I'm glad, obviously I want my full team in the gym. But I'm glad for Coach Barnes here and his staff and the players that they're getting a postseason. I was talking to Coach Riley even as early this morning or late this morning, just about everything they've been through. They were they were on and they were off and they were pushed back and they're practicing and they're following these protocols, which is something that we're gonna end up doing as well. And then to not give the players, a postseason and a chance to win a championship, I think I'm glad they decided to do that and push forward. I know some teams will be dealing with more adversity than others, but I'm glad to hear them continue to do that. And if us taking a couple weeks off, I'm not sure if that played into KHSA's decision at all. and pushing us back a little bit to hopefully get through the playoffs for the football guys. And I just think that it'd be good for them. And so, like I said, flexibility must be the word for 2020. But I did tell the guys yesterday, and I said, the good thing about this is hopefully when we get back on January 4th, it's 2021, and it's going to be a new year. So hopefully new year will be, better than 2020 in regards to the COVID situation.
Yeah, 2020 has been rough, but at the same time, I've kind of been inspired by watching first of all, the fall sports kids prepare for their season. And like I've said 100 times, if you go back to August, we weren't even sure there'd be any seasons. And you guys are in that same boat now with basketball, wrestling, all those sports. You guys have been preparing just like you're going to have a season. And, you don't know exactly when that's going to happen.
I agree. I think that's really the only mindset as a coach you can have right now is you have to, push forward and like you're going to have a quote normal season. And then you take the blows as they come. We thought we were going to open the season, several weeks earlier. Now we're not. So it's fine. We're going to deal with it. We're going to schedule the games like we need to. We're going to continue to be in contact with our players, continue to be positive for them and strong for them. And I'll just brag. I know Coach Mitchell could probably do the same thing about his Lady Tigers. My guys have been great through all of this. Heck, I was quarantined for 2 weeks, and Coach Pepper and Coach Cash stepped up. And their attitude has been great through all of this, because I can imagine it would be easy to have a little bit of a sour attitude, knowing that you're coming to practice and you're running and you're conditioning and all that, and you're doing some bear planks and that kind of stuff, and without the certainty of having a season. But my guys got to brag on them. They've done a fantastic job following the protocols and being team players.
Well, and we all have to follow the COVID-19 guidelines. As a matter of fact, I was hoping to have all you guys in the studio this morning and just have a big old basketball chat, but, we can't do that right now, so I'm glad you guys were able to make the conference call work here on the phone line and be able to join me this morning.
Yes, sir. It's a privilege to be here and talk basketball.
Yeah, the season being pushed back to January 4th. We're talking this morning with Caldwell basketball coaches Chuck Mitchell and Daniel Kukahiko. And Chuck, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a privilege to be on here and talking basketball because, like Coach K, the girls were just fantastic. We're working really hard, and they've handled all the stress. Because I know there's stress, the seniors especially. We've got some newcomers that are coming up that are really playing well. They're excited about playing. I got 4 8th graders going to join the team when we come back. So it's an exciting time. And I just try to make every practice. I told them, you never know. Make every practice like it's your last, and enjoy what you're doing because it can be taken away from you. And I think they're realizing how important playing those games are. And they've been great with all the protocol. They help us. I mean, they just know. And the kids have been fantastic. It's been a growing experience for all of them.
Well, some sports seem to have an advantage over other sports. Football's outside, soccer's outside. You get to spring sports, baseball and softball are both outside. Volleyball had just a little trouble because it's an inside sport. That's kind of an issue for you guys, too. And, as far as I'm concerned, let's get the Butler courts on the outside down there ready, and we'll just play outside this year.
I think it comes to it. We'll be ready for that.
Back in the days, go back 90 years ago, there were a lot of teams in the county that played outside basketball. Farmersville, Flat Rock, Cobb, some of those schools, they never had indoor courts. They actually played those games outside. Of course, they started the season a lot earlier, back in September, but that was actually done. So, I mean, there is at least some sort of precedent for that.
But, back in the day, a school named Carr Creek up in Whitesburg, Kentucky. You probably never heard of them.
Yeah, I've heard of Carr Creek, yeah.
Carr Creek won the state championship, and they were practicing outside on dirt. But here's the key. I think they had some 20 and 21-year-olds playing at that time. That's what I was told. But I see the court when I lived back in the mountains. They used to practice on. It was unbelievable. Dirt.
The stories from Caldwell County back in the day is that Princeton Butler was the city school, and there were a bunch of county schools, and if there was a really good football or basketball player out there, somebody would put one of those players up in a hotel here in Princeton, and they would end up moving from the county school to Butler. That was always, one of those stories I heard back in the day. So I think there were a lot of that, 20 and 21-year-old guys and, some different things going on as far as eligibility. Maybe the rules were a little more lax back then.
I'm a little flexible, those.
Yeah. But I always remember going back through those old papers, and you go back to the late 20s, early 30s, and that I know that's really going back a long way now, but you'd see a story in the paper that would say, basketball games rained out last week because everybody had their outdoor courts.
Right, yeah, for sure.
That'd be cool, though, wouldn't it, to have an outside game at Butler down at the old courts? I mean, I've seen some amazing games down there before that, weren't high school games, but there's been some nice ball players play on those courts outside down at Butler.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Talking this morning with Caldwell basketball coaches Chuck Mitchell and Daniel Kukahiko. Need to get to one more break here on the show, though, but we'll be back with more after this here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Taco John's.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. Sunshine expected through the day today, reaching a high of 67 degrees. Clear skies overnight tonight, down to 44. Sunshine through the day tomorrow, back up to around 67. Partly sunny and 68 on Saturday. May see a few rain showers on Sunday, up to 67. And mostly sunny and 53 the high on Monday. Sunny skies through the day today, reaching a high of 67.
Need cash fast? ABC Finance is open with social distancing implementations in place. They believe it's more important now than ever to get a handle on your finances.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
At ABC Finance, we don't just provide loans, but we also provide valuable advice to help you get your credit in better standing.
Our friendly team of professionals has your best interest in mind. We celebrate with you when your finances improve.
We encourage you to like our Facebook page, ABC Finance Company. Many of those useful tips are posted daily on our page, including tons of community info and motivation for the day.
To view social distancing guidelines and safety measures, like and follow ABC Finance Company on Facebook. ABC Finance is located off Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville, next to O'Charlie's, then Princeton and the Princeton Plaza. Apply for loans online or simply give them a call. They'll take your application over the phone. ABC Finance, all loans subject to normal credit approval.
Back on the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Caldwell County basketball head coaches Daniel Kukahiko and Chuck Mitchell joining us this morning. And guys, I want to kind of shift now and look ahead to the upcoming season. Chuck, first of all, what's kind of the outlook for the Lady Tigers coming up this season?
Well, we're in the tough district, as always. You got to come ready to play. All three of those teams are going to be really good. Hopkins Central, I think, is going to be a strong team this year. It's somebody you got to really look at. Madisonville, really a good team. So you got in Dawson Springs, well, you just got to go with your A game when you play that bunch. The Class A, wow, solid. Lyon County, Coach Doom, man, he'll be ready. Crittenden County, they're going to be ready. It's just going to be a dogfight all the way. And UHA will be. I think UHA is probably the dark horse in this. They got a good team coming back.
Well, and Daniel, what are the boys looking like for this year?
We're looking to be competitive. I'll start where Chuck did with the district. The district's going to be very competitive. We've got, Coach Hicks over at Dawson, Coach Fralix, who's now at Central in his second year. We're going to do some good things there. And then, Coach Newton taking over the Madisonville program there. And, it's going to be a competitive deal. We've got a young squad that's coming in. There's obviously the last couple of years, or last 3 years, Madisonville has had a great class that I'm not going to lie to you. I'm glad they're playing college ball now instead of playing high school ball. It's going to be a dogfight, which is the way you want it. The way you want it. You want to go in and compete every single night, and hopefully the results fall like you want them to fall. Like I said, our guys are working hard right now. We've got about half our squad in the gym, the other half's on the football field. And so when they come in, it's going to be, I guess if there is one benefit, you alluded to it earlier, of pushing back to January 4th, we can get the best of both worlds. We can win a football state championship and then have them for our first opening game. So that's definitely a plus, and it'll be good for our guys that have been in the gym to get some competition. We've with limited numbers right now. We're having to put some coaches in some drills, and it's not as ideal as what you'd want. So we'll definitely, our competition level will go up once we are able to get a full squad in the gym.
Well, and one thing we haven't really talked about, but the All-A Classic, that's always a big thing for both teams. And do we know where we stand with that tournament yet?
We got an email yesterday. There's a meeting tonight with the board of directors for the All-A Classic, and they're going to discuss what's going forward. Mr. Duncan, who's our representative for the second region, he said he wants to see it go forward with the same dates and the same for the same state, the regional and state tournament. To be honest, getting that email pretty late. We haven't had a chance to really talk too much about that at this point. But we'll get that finalized today and kind of decide how we want to go with that going forward, if we want to be involved or not involved, and then we will get it to him, and then we'll kind of the ball will be in their court. Obviously, he's one of a few across the state that will kind of lead in making that decision, and so I guess we'll see how that goes.
When does Caldwell County get to host one of those? It seems like we've been in it a long time, and every time it seems like it becomes our turn to host, we get out of the All-A Classic for a year, and then we go back to the bottom of the list again.
I agree. Every year it's the girls actually a few years ago, the girls, the rotations got messed up. Not messed up, just because we were out while not that anything was done wrong. And the girls and boys were hosted at different locations. They kind of kept it that way, which is not a bad way to do it. And you're right. Every time we get out, it's our year to host, and then we kind of get bumped back. We actually host a first-round game this year, which is on the boys' side, which is a good thing. The last two times I think we've drawn for the first round, we've actually drawn the home team, but we've drawn the host school. And when you draw the host school, you get at the tournament, they play at their event. So we're getting a home game out of it this year, which is a good thing. So, hopefully we'll have that meeting later on. We can get back to that rotation of hosting in the tournament.
Well, and Chuck, how are you guys looking as far as the All-A kind of goes?
Yeah, it's about the same boat. We drew a bye in the first round. We played the winner, Lyon and Livingston, I think. And, we're excited about getting to play in the Class A. It's a great tournament. And, it gives the small schools an opportunity to shine a little bit. And I've been to a couple of Class A state tournaments. It's a lot of fun. The kids really enjoy it. And I'm just hoping it can go on as planned. We're waiting, like Coach said, we're waiting on word, but I'm hoping it stays the same dates so we can just kind of schedule around that.
Hey, Chuck, Lyon County head coach Jeff Doom said you guys are going to be pretty good this year.
Now, listen about Jeff Doom. You can't believe a word that guy says. Now, he said that last year, too. And we had those injuries. He's a super good guy, super coach. I love Jeff. But he got that Michael Jordan way about him. He'll tell you all that stuff, how good you are, then come out and pound you.
Yeah, he was on the show last week and trying to talk up the Lady Tigers and some of the other teams around, but I think they're going to be pretty good this year too.
He's a super coach, and he'll have whomever's on that court, you better be ready to play.
How much emphasis do you guys put in the All-A Classic? I know you look at a school like Lyon County and most smaller schools, that's one of the big things of the season, but I think different schools kind of look at the All-A Classic in different ways.
My standpoint is I like it let me start the other way. Sometimes from a scheduling standpoint, if you don't take care of business early on in the tournament, you're going 5, 6, 7 days potentially without a game, which is not good in the middle of a season, or in this case, right in the middle of the season. But I love the fact that it's another tournament atmosphere. You just can't simulate that in practice. And so it's good for, last year advancing to the finals and even going to overtime. It's something you can't simulate in practice. And I think that's a benefit to the players because, you get to practice in that type of environment knowing that the postseason is going to come just a few weeks later. And as a coach, I think you can kind of use it to prepare your guys for some things they're going to face in the future so that they're not as shocked when they happen in the postseason.
We are talking this morning with Caldwell basketball coaches Daniel Kukahiko and Chuck Mitchell. And like I said, I was hoping to get you guys in the studio this morning, but just couldn't get it worked out. But am glad to get your thoughts on the upcoming season. And, again, the season has been pushed back to January 4th. Guys, do we know exactly when you'll have the schedules ready or reworked or anything like that?
We're hoping before January 4th. No, we've actually been. Last night I know Coach Mitchell was on, contacting coaches. The same thing last night for myself, and we'll sit down in the next few minutes and try to just hammer out some dates. And obviously, we both, I think, had a couple of district games that were in December, so those will kind of take a little bit of priority in trying to get those rescheduled unless there's another plans came up with. So we'll start there, and then. The good thing is we have, they kind of, I don't want to say added, but the week of February 15th and the 22nd, those are dates that we didn't anticipate having games. So we can, schedule a few more games there. And it's going to take some while. I'm probably moving some games around, but, over the next few days, the good thing is everybody is right now in the same boat as we are, trying to, find games, schedule games, move games. So everybody's going to be a little more flexible and trying to get everybody a schedule hammered out.
Yeah, just kind of interesting that the district tournament was going to be really early this year. Now it gets pushed back to March to a more regular time, I guess, that we're accustomed to. But, Daniel, when you look at the district tournament, does Madisonville North Hopkins come back to the pack a little bit this year? Because last year, man, that team was loaded.
Well, they were. They've been loaded for the last 3 years. They got, just college scholarships all over the table from last year's team, which is, happy for them. And, I say this every year, a school like that never truly has to, have a rebuilding year. And, obviously when you're, Coach Bashirs was a great coach, but now they're adding Coach Newton. And he's a great coach as well. We've seen what he's done at Webster County. And so he's going to have his guys ready. So to say they're coming back to the pack, I don't know that I don't know if that's the right statement or not. Just the thing about it is that every year is a different year. We've got, and I told the guys even as late as yesterday, I'm confident in the guys we're going to put on the floor. And I know that every coach is supposed to say that, but I am. We're going to put some young guys out there, but it's going to be exciting. And I think that our district is going to shape up to be a heck of a tournament. It's going to be a dogfight no matter what we're looking at the regular season as far as how many times we'll play, where we're going to play, locations, all that stuff, just to fight for those seedings. And then when the week of March 1st does come around, I think it's going to be there's going to be a lot of good games.
Yeah, I kind of felt for those guys in the maroon jerseys last year because I thought they had a chance to make a deep run at state, and a lot of kids were going to get that opportunity to play in the Sweet 16 and just didn't last year. And it seems to me like the KHSAA is kind of determined that this year, one way or another, we're going to have a state tournament.
Right. And I did feel bad about those. And I heard, obviously I coached over there for a few years, so I had some connections. And that was the one thing that I heard. Obviously they won the region back-to-back years. The first year we won the region for the first time in however many years. And, we're going to state, then going up there and playing. But this year, the biggest difference that I heard this year was, their mindset was we have the same team pretty much. They had a couple guys switch out, switch on, but, they were going up there with looking to win the thing. And I think not having that opportunity was, I bet it was tough on those guys and those coaches.
Well, again, I appreciate you guys coming on today. Daniel, Chuck, any last comments before we wrap up the show today?
Well, as far as Madisonville North Hopkins, I'm glad those Peyton twins are gone. Unfortunately, LaGrange has got an ACL tear, but Jeff will have a great team coming back. I'm looking forward to playing in the district. It's going to be super competitive. And I want to thank all of the folks out there in Princeton who supported our programs through this tough time. And I couldn't name them all, but I appreciate everybody coming to bat for us.
I agree. I can echo that. The community has been, from the moment we started dealing with this, has just came to kind of went to bat for our athletes, which is a great thing, just our school system as a whole. So we appreciate that. And then you guys as well, still out and about covering. You've already been at practice, taking pictures, talking, interviewing, that kind of stuff. And we appreciate what you guys do to publicize our athletes.
Right now, fingers crossed that January 4th is the date and we get some basketball in this season.
Amen to that.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on the show.
All right, have a good day.
That's Daniel Kukahiko and Chuck Mitchell, Caldwell County basketball coaches, joining us on the show today and getting some good information from those guys this morning. Again, if you missed it, the KHSAA has pushed back the start of the winter sports, everything, including basketball, wrestling, all those sports. They've been pushed back to January 4th, so we'll get a bit of a break as we transition from fall sports. Football still going, though. The playoffs are still on. The Tiger football team going to Murray Friday night. 7 o'clock is kickoff time for that one. And, of course, you can hear that game right here on WPKY. That's going to wrap up the Sideline Report for this Thursday. Thanks for listening. This is Todd Griffin. You've been listening to the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY, Princeton, Kentucky.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2020 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
This is Sam Meeks with Bella Marie Boutique. Thank you for voting Bella Marie as the best of Western Kentucky boutique 3 years in a row. We are so appreciative of our loyal customers. None of this would be possible without you all.
Your WPKY Weather Center forecast. Sunny and breezy conditions through the day today. That's why we're under a red flag warning through at least sunset, a high of 68. We could see south-southwest winds gusting up to 30 miles an hour at times today. Mostly clear skies tonight, down to 44 for the overnight low. By tomorrow, mostly sunny, back up to 66. Sunny and breezy through the day today.